friends and family. Welcome to episode 655 of Good Luck High Five.
You're listening to a podcast that's for you. Whether you're a friend, a family, or a foe, we're here for you.
Oh, I didn't welcome our foes in. Should I have done that?
Don't worry, I got them covered just there.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And we're joined on this episode by a very special guest, Judge Eric, who's hanging out with us today. Hi, Eric.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You might know Judge Eric from Commander Arcade. You play on the show with us. You help us build a lot of decks that are very sweet for the show. Sometimes too sweet, in that I lose to them, Eric. Have you ever considered my feelings?
Well, look, somebody's got to win a game of Magic. If we're going to be clear, someone does have to win the game of Magic.
Yeah,
otherwise, the
that's
content
true.
would last forever.
That's
we don't
a
want
great
that.
point. Great point,
Some people
Eric.
want the content to last forever. Have you considered that?
A never-ending game of Commander.
Have you considered
Oh.
the endless?
Does that
content?
sound like heaven or purgatory to you?
It sounds absolutely miserable. There's this format
Wow.
that
All right. Fair, yeah.
exists called
Go on.
Grand Melee.
Oh,
A lot of people
yes.
find it very fun. I don't. I'm not one of those people. But if you go to a Magic Con, like Magic Con Atlanta, for example, and you want to commit yourself to playing Magic for as long as possible, play a Grand Melee. It's such a big game that they have multiple turns happening simultaneously. They'll have like 50 players in a single game.
I know,
Grand
right?
Melee.
And you can only attack the people in a certain direction and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it always seemed. I was like, I don't know how you wrap your head around such a situation, but yeah.
Such a situation.
Against my best wishes, my brother entered into the Grand Melee at Vegas, and he said he had fun, which doesn't surprise me for my brother.
I thought you were going to
And
say
he said he
doesn't track.
Had fun.
Eric is joining us on the show today, speaking of Commander, to talk about a Commander, specifically Commander with new cards and returning cards from Edge of Eternities. Eric, why did you want to talk about this today?
Well, Edge of Eternities, as we know, is the new standard set du jour, and it also has a lot of very fun cards that can be used to either spice up your Commander deck or maybe even
Your
inspire
marriage.
a new one.
Oh.
Look, Magic can do a lot of things. I don't know if it'll go that far.
I mean, I'm sure it's worked for someone out there.
Oh, absolutely.
At some point in history. Yeah, so you're going to walk us through some new returning cards that you think might be important for Commander. So if you're a Commander player, this episode is definitely for you. Before we dive in, we're going to give a big thank you, a Good Luck High Five size thank you to everyone who supports us on patreon.com/GLHF Magic.
Yes, thank you to everyone, past, present, and future, who has given us their patronage. It means so much to us. You truly keep the show going.
Friends, foes, family, any of that.
Exactly. If you're our foe, we encourage you to become a patron.
Yeah, show us how much you hate us.
Send us your spite money. We'd love to have it.
They'll have all the inside info
Yes.
on you from the Patreon
Yeah.
feed.
Exactly. And from being in our
Absolutely.
Discord, which is one of the top, just one of the top reasons to be a patron.
Yes.
Is you get access to our sweet Discord, which is a great place. We have some new patrons to thank. Thank you so much, new patrons. Remember, becoming a new patron at the $5 or more level or increasing your patronage gets you a pun. A pun of such quality as Jonathan. Thank you so much, Jonathan. We want to... Oh no.
Already, we're showing
Jonathan,
you our skills.
you're not a yawn-a-thin. Jonathan, this would be a yawn-a-thon without you.
There we go.
There we go. All the syllables.
Hey, Jonathan, if you were the John in my house, I'd be like, wow, what a great quality toilet. That's what I would say. You're probably
Become a patron
bidet.
and we'll call you a quality toilet. What more could you possibly ask for? Thank you so much to Marcus, new patron Marcus. Mark us down as a fan of you.
Yes!
Because you're great.
Are you a chain of Marcus movie theaters? Because I want to see you on the big screen. Thanks, Marcus.
Thanks, Marcus. Thank you so much to Seamus.
Seamus! It'd be
Shame on
on us.
for not thanking you sooner. There we go. We killed it.
That was great.
Got there.
Steven! Thank you, Steven. I've been no, that does not work.
Yeah, I know. I was following.
I've been meaning to say thank you.
I've been Wow, it's so humid. It's been steam
Been in
outside.
here. Oh, yeah. Thank you to Douglas Stein. Hey, Douglas, are you actually R.L. Stein and wrote all those goosebumps? Because I have a huge thank you
Wow,
to
usually
you.
we don't say people's last names. You just Douglas, good old-fashioned doxing for you as a thank you.
Look, your last name is Stein. I gotta thank
All right,
RL
that's fair.
for all
That's
of those.
fair.
You know, there's so many good ones.
Yeah, there are so many
The
good
Cuckoo
ones.
Clock of Doom, maybe one of my favorites.
Oh, what
Night of the Living Dummy.
what was Cuckoo Clock of Doom doing?
I just remember that it was like a time travel thing, and it was the
Okay.
only Goosebumps book that had a quote unquote happy-ish ending. That's what I recall.
I'm astonished that you could remember the titles of those books because I've read almost all of them and I can't tell you any of the names of any of them.
Look, this is a huge part of my personality here. At least where it came from.
Yeah.
You can have wonderful puns and doxing like this if you become a patron right now at patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Let's talk about Edge of Eternity's commander cards. Now, Judge Eric, you're a commander master. You are a great player. You know a lot about the format, and you're an actual Magic judge. We don't just call you judge to make you feel good about yourself. You actually are one.
It's true. I'm actually judging this weekend. Not Magic the Gathering, oddly enough.
Oh.
But I am judging this weekend.
At a
the court
courthouse?
of law?
No, Star Wars Unlimited.
Oh, sure.
I've enjoyed some Star Wars Unlimited in my time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you judge any other games?
I have been asked to help with Lorcana, but the only thing I've done with that is some scorekeeping things, which it doesn't really count because I haven't taken calls. Otherwise,
Okay,
it's
well,
mostly
I'm
Magic
sure
the
the state of
Gathering.
Minnesota will be calling you at some moment for
Uh-oh.
some help here in the future. So you've got actually a list of cards here that people can follow along with at home. They're in the show notes, a Moxfield list of the cards you're going to be talking about, so people can read them as they listen to the show if you so choose. And the way we're going to break this down is the first thing we want to talk about here is staples. So what do you mean by this, and why is it important, Eric?
So as Commander has evolved, because the format's very old, there are a lot of cards that
Wow.
have just taken up as these are the cards you just put in a lot of decks. If
Yeah.
you're trying to build a powerful deck, you might go, oh well, I have to have Ristic Study or some of the Game Changers list or some other card like that. We colloquially call them staples. I don't say you should always put these cards in your deck, but in the case of the cards I'm going to talk about today, I genuinely do think you should put them in just about every deck because the cards I'm
Oh.
talking about are colloquially known as the Shocklands.
Yes.
Now, if you've been playing Commander for a while, you probably know what these cards are, but if you're out of the know, or if you just didn't know they were called Shocklands, these are a set of non-basic lands, and in Edge of Eternity, 5 of them have been reprinted. So I'm going to use Godless Shrine as an example here. Godless Shrine, quite simply, is a plains
It's
swamp.
quite simply a godless shrine.
It is a godless
And
shrine. What
God
else do you want
is
to say
not
about
here.
it?
As this land enters, you may pay 2 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. This is where the shock of Shockland comes in.
Because you're shocked that somebody would pay 2 life to put a land into play.
Yeah, that's definitely what it means, Maria.
I don't know about you, but I love being able to cast my spells when I'm playing a game.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, interesting.
Shocklands are basically one of the most efficient ways you can do it in Commander at a
Yeah.
budget that's reasonable.
They have the land types on them, which is important.
Yeah,
if
especially if
something
you-
says, yeah,
like a fetch land.
exactly. If something
Yeah.
says you can go get a forest, guess what? You can get a breeding pool, which is a forest and an island.
Nice.
How about that?
Yeah, so these are great. I recommend you play them in any decks that match their colors. I don't recommend you play them in decks where the colors don't match. You can technically do that, but it's not.
But why are you doing it, buddy?
yeah.
Why?
Just be like, play and be like, Judge Eric told me to do this.
So
I
Except
did
that he
not.
just
I
told you
don't
not to.
condone. I
Except
don't
that he
condone
just
this
told you not
behavior
to.
unless you have a really weird
Just
reason
told
to
you
do
not
it.
to.
Yeah.
I have a question. These reprints, since they've reprinted them in this set, does that bring the cost down for people who want to play these?
Yeah, generally.
Nice.
The only time a reprint might not bring the cost down on a card is if like it becomes a 4 of in every single standard deck. In
Right.
which case it might not.
Okay,
But
that's a good point. That's a good point.
If you're looking to pick up these singles right now, I imagine the Edge of Eternities versions of these are going to be the cheapest ones you can find right now.
Yeah, I'm
So if you-
looking here, just taking a peek-sees. Yeah, this breeding pool is around $8, like $7 to $8 or so. So
That's great.
that's
That's
so
such a-
much better than I remember
Yeah.
it being.
a few months ago that it was double, maybe triple that.
Yeah, so okay, excellent news that they reprinted these cards.
Yeah,
Okay,
so they're
cool.
great. They're great in every format in which they are legal. So Commander being
right.
especially
One of them.
Go for it.
But as for other reprints in the set, there were a number of other staples that I don't really want to focus on, but I want to bring up because they're in Edge of Eternities. They were on the bonus sheet. Cards like
yes.
Burgeoning, are on the bonus sheet.
Oh, yeah.
And these cards are great to play with if they're the sort of card that you really like, if you want to ramp, if you want to see some of these awesome treatments. The bonus sheet has a ton of those for you.
Yeah. So, and also, what else was I going to say? Nothing, I guess.
Wow, Maria, that was such a journey. That was a really bizarre journey.
She had us on high on the top of the mountain, and then we crashed down when she had nothing to say about it. But good thing to point out for people who might be newer to the Commander format, for sure.
Yes. So now that we're done talking about the cards most people may already know about, let's get into the actual set, Edge of Eternities. So I want to talk about some commanders.
Oh, the titular cards of the format.
Yes, legendary creatures or spacecraft.
Indeed.
Yes.
The spaceships that are legendary can be your commander.
How did you feel about that change, Eric, when it happened?
I was very hesitant when I saw it. I think expanding the pool of playable cards is a good thing, but could potentially be a problem. However, having played with it a bunch now, I think it's great. I think especially the spaceships, having them as commanders is awesome. They're just the station mechanic has so much play to it that's fun and engaging and interesting that I just really enjoy. It feels a lot like Battles did, but Battles really, really felt good in 1v1, not so much in Commander. I think stations feel really, really good in Commander.
I have had so much fun playing with spacecraft as our commanders. Megan and I played the 2 pre-con decks.
With spacecraft. We chose the spacecraft commanders, and it was great.
I love them. They're so
it was
cool.
very fun.
It just it gives another angle of the game to play at, which you mentioned, and I just think it brings just another more texture to the game, if you will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the pre-con commanders, the spacecrafts are awesome. Being able to charge a bunch of charge counters or plus encounters on the Jeskai one, sweet.
Yes.
Doing all of the
Hexproof.
things that Jund does best in the Jund one.
In the Jund one?
So much fun.
I've won some games with it already. What am I going to,
If you want to see more about that, there may be an episode of Commander Arcade for you to watch.
No spoilers.
Indeed.
Do I win that one?
Who can say?
You do some very cool things, though.
Yeah.
All right, what other commanders do you want to talk about?
Who are some commanders?
Speaking of spacecraft,
Yeah.
I want to talk about Dawnsire.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the commanders that we had in our Commander Arcade episode.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go over all the ones from our Commander Arcade episodes, but they're great, and they're in the list here for you to see online. But Dawnsire is a colorless commander, costs 5 for eventually a 20/20 with flying. However,
not bad.
It has station. At 10 plus, it says whenever you attack, Dawnsire deals 100 damage to up to one target creature or planeswalker, and at 20 plus, it becomes that 20/20 with flying.
It's not 10 damage.
It's really not.
It is much more.
10 times 10 damage.
So colorless is a weird place in Commander, just in general, especially as like a legendary creature that you might have as the front of your deck, because you're not allowed to play any colored spells at all. But Dawnsire adds a new flavor to colorless decks. Because when somebody says they have a colorless commander deck, I'm thinking either they're going to do something incredibly oppressive and stacks-like, or they're going to throw a bunch of Eldrazi at my face, which also is very oppressive and
one could also call
stacks-like.
that oppressive.
Yeah,
I don't know about you,
to
but
the face never feels good.
Getting attacked with Annihilator triggers gets old after a while.
Wow.
Dawnsire has something like Annihilator, and then it lets you deal 100 damage to a creature, which is awesome.
Annihilator, which you choose.
But it also lets you play around a bunch of other cool things in colorless, where you can ramp really high creatures into play, like Eldrazi if you want, which are great at stationing, by the way. All Eldritch Horrors from Beyond the Blind Eternities, very good at piloting a spacecraft.
Wow.
Well, they got all those limbs
hop in the ship.
Out of the moon into the car, you know what I mean?
Emrakul is my co-pilot.
Get out of my moon and into my car.
Oh my God. Right. Someone write that song, please.
Yeah,
but yeah, if you want to see Dawnsire in action,
indeed,
you can absolutely see this on one of our Commander Arcade episodes, along with many of the other legendary creatures that I have listed here.
Tyler built this. He built Dawnsire in a very different way, which included Stuffy Doll and some kind of combo shenanigans to try and delete players from the game. That's the way he went about it.
There's nothing in Dawnsire that says you have to target your opponent's creatures.
Indeed. All right, who's up next?
All right, so I want to talk about next Halia. guided
she's so
by
cool.
light.
Yeah, she is.
Halia's awesome. I love, we'll call them like the essence wardens of magic. These are creatures that whenever something happens, you gain 1 life. Halia is no different. Halia being a 2 and a white 3/3 human soldier, whenever Halia or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain 1 life. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn, and Halia has warp for a single white. Halia is a sweet commander that you can use if you want to go heavy on a life gain strategy. But what makes Halia different from a lot of these other mono-white life gain creature-based things is that she also triggers on artifacts.
Yes.
If you wanted to do this before, there were a number of other options that might care about gaining life, but this one allows you to play a deck that has more than, 2 artifacts in it because you want to be able to ramp or something. You can cut your creature count down and actually play some other cards that might impact the board without getting completely annihilated by a board wipe, which is one of the things that I was really attracted to when I saw Halia. I go, oh, cool, I can build a creature-based deck that doesn't get completely wrecked when someone plays Wrath of God.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've only played 1 life gain deck in Commander, but I felt like I was a huge target because, my life total was so high.
Well, Maria, you say you were a huge target because your life total, I'm putting air quotes around, your life total was so high. But I wonder was it your life total that was the problem? Or was it the ether flux reservoir that you were sitting around with threatening people? What is it? Was it your life total or was it the ether flux reservoir?
Really?
Okay,
Who
yeah,
can
fair
say?
The
enough.
world may never know.
Yeah, interesting. All right.
But another awesome thing about Halia draws you cards.
Yes,
which
love
she
drawing
does.
cards.
Let's be real. If you're playing Commander with random people, even if they say, "Oh, my deck's a 2 or my deck's a 3,"
They're lying to you. Is that
being
what
able to
you're
draw a card can help fix some of those massive fluctuations at bracket 2, bracket 3. I'm not going to say Halia can get into the super competitive side because it can if you put the right cards in it. But a commander that can draw you a card means that you're not going to be out of the game, especially if it's easy for you to draw a card.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of legendary creatures that are printed nowadays that give you some sort of card advantage, whether it be actually drawing a card or reanimating something or like giving you tokens or something like that.
I have a question about Halia with her warp ability. I'm not having to pay any commander tax on that warp, am I?
You are, because you do have to cast it.
Wow.
Also, warp only works from your hand.
Oh, yeah.
So it unfortunately doesn't work as your commander.
Unless it's
but if
back
you're
in my
playing
hand
it
for some
in a
reason.
life gain deck, it's great for the warp cost, simply because it allows you to play a bunch of creatures at once to get a bunch of triggers. It also lets you hide Halia away from like a board wipe or some other removal.
Hide her.
Yes. The warp
Protect.
mechanic is awesome.
Yeah.
I love warp.
I agree.
It does. It gives you a lot of flexibility for cards that just didn't necessarily have that type of flexibility before. Because hiding something in exile, nobody's going to touch that. Nobody plays Rift Sweeper in Commander.
Okay, sweet. I'm going to just keep a list running tally in my head of like which one of these I'm going to want to build next after
Yeah.
you get through this. Okay, who's up next?
Well, let's talk about Sammy, Wildcat Captain.
Let's.
So Sammy is 4 red white for a human artificer rogue. They have double strike and vigilance. They are a 4/4 and spells you cast have affinity for artifacts.
Megan and I played against a Sammy deck the other day in the
Judge
hands
Rob
of Judge
was
Rob.
having some shenanigans.
How did that go for you?
Well, he was able to cast quite a lot of things for essentially free. That's
Yeah.
how it went for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly what Sammy does best. Fun fact about cards that have affinity for artifacts: if they're colorless and you have enough artifacts in play, you don't have to spend any mana to cast them.
Wow.
One of the things that Sammy can do so well, which is part of the reason why they cost 6 mana, is cast cards for free. Do you want a free Dawnsire? Do
Yes.
you want a free Emrakul?
Yes.
You can get it for the low price of 6 mana.
Wow.
Wow, that sounds busted when you put it that way. I think I'm in. Free Emrakul? Emrakul.
That's what it
It
feels
is very
like.
cool.
Yeah. That's what it feels like when it gets played.
Man, I wish Emrakul would become a patron. Then we could make that very easy pun.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Emrakul,
I think
if you're
she's-
out there.
I think she's trapped in the moon. Can we get Can we get service up on the
into
moon?
my car.
And into our Patreon. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That sounds sweet.
So, speaking of reanimation, Zoo Ifit, Osteoharmonist.
Yes.
We have
Let's
a bone
go.
wizard here. 1 black for a 2/3. Human wizard. Tap, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its other types and has no abilities. Activate only as a sorcery.
Wow.
Zoofit is awesome.
So, Eric, I don't understand. Why would I want a creature back with no abilities?
Well, back in the old days of Magic, there was a card called Phyrexian Dreadnought.
Interesting.
1 mana, artifact creature,
Okay. Well, you
12/12.
All right, I'm into it.
I'm with you.
When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice 12 power worth of creatures.
Ooh. Don't like
now,
that.
if you took the abilities off that creature,
Oh.
suddenly you've got a 1 mana 12/12.
Holy cow.
All right.
Black has so many creatures like this, and colorless as well, where
Death
if
Shadow?
you can get
Yeah,
it
Death
into the
Shadow.
graveyard somehow. I mean, let's be
How
real.
am I gonna
How
get
could we
this in the
possibly get cards in the
graveyard?
graveyard in black? You can reanimate them without having any of the drawback of that creature. There's cards like Sky Swallower, which when it enters the battlefield, you lose all your permanents. There's cards like Leveler. When it enters the battlefield, you exile your library. These are cheap creatures that have huge power and toughness that if you take away their abilities, suddenly their downside is gone.
Nice.
And if you wanted to jam a bunch of those cards in a deck and you think that would be fun, you have the perfect commander for it.
I played with this commander with a deck built by Judge Rob on Commander Arcade if you want to see it in action. And it is so sweet once you start the engine rolling with Zoofeet. Or excuse me, how did you say it?
Zoofeet, I think.
I don't know. Zoofeet. Let's call it that. The point is they're a bone wizard. And getting stuff back from the graveyard and having no abilities on it was such an upside for so many cards in the deck. Everybody became terrified of me at the table at some point during the game because the deck was just operating on going on all cylinders, and it was just cool once it started getting its engine rolling.
Are you sure it's because your life total wasn't quote unquote too high?
Yeah.
49 is the perfect life total.
This time I know it wasn't.
All right, so next let's talk about Rogost. Deaf to
yeah.
Gastronaut.
Lobster citizen.
Yes, so
He's just a lobster living his life, doing him
Oh,
job.
look at his little vest he's wearing.
Yeah.
I saw a crab this past weekend. And
Sure.
it's a critical
Sure.
update for
yes,
listeners.
it's important.
So I was out in the Chesapeake Bay area, and people ordered crabs because that's all you get out there. There's crabs on everything, and you have them at the table and you smash them with a little hammer. Now I did not partake in this crab smashing, but boy oh boy was I horrified when I saw them on the table. Their little bug legs and their little bug antennas and their little sea bug mouths and eyes. So I was so scared. I thought they were gonna get up and just skitter on over to me. Anyway, I'm getting the same kind of fears looking at Rogost
What?
here.
He's cute.
I mean,
is
I
cute.
do think Rogost would prepare a meal very similar to the one you just described.
Yeah.
The lore behind Rogost is very funny.
Oh,
He cooks food that's definitely not edible, but the people that he is feeding are artificial people, and so they'll happily eat anything,
Wow. Weird.
doesn't even have to be a good cook.
which is what his card
Love
does.
that for him.
Yeah.
He's so red-white for a 2/2, Lobster Citizen. Artifacts you control are food in addition to their other types and have the food ability. 2, tap, sacrifice this artifact, gain 3 life. You can also pay 1, tap, Rogost, and sacrifice a food to deal 3 damage to each opponent. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained life this turn, untap Rogost.
Do it again.
Rogost is happy to serve up and throw food at as many people as you would like.
Food fight.
And he's not picky about whether or not the food is food or if it's a soul ring or some other artifact that happens to be lying around. You have some gold coins on a treasure token. Orders up.
Throw 'em.
Wow.
I feel like this is one of the commanders that came out with Edge of Eternities that I saw the most buzz of people being excited to build.
Yes, I saw similar things buzzing around social media. People seem to really like this lobster, and I have seen the joke many times, but I will repeat it here.
Great.
Did a lobster fry that rice?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
In this case,
You're telling
yes.
me
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If I'm building this deck, how many ways am I building into like untap Rogost and all that kind of stuff too?
I think Rogost's ability to untap themselves
It's just gonna happen
is going
anyway.
to happen. I think you should be focused on giving Rogost lifelink.
Okay.
Because that means you'll get that life gain trigger every time.
All right.
So if you have something like Basilisk Collar, or there's other auras or equipment that you can give, Shadow Spear is a great one.
Yeah.
If you give Rogost lifelink, Rogost is going to gain you life every time he flings a food at someone, so you can just keep going.
Excellent. Love this little guy. Okay, what's next?
So next, I think we should move on to the next section of cards I want to talk about.
Station.
I want to talk about stations.
Yeah.
As I said before, station is a sweet mechanic. So I have some examples here of some stations that you could put into your commander deck that would make a big swing. So the first one can go in just about any deck as long as you're playing creatures, is the Eternity Elevator.
Oh yeah, this card's sweet.
So 5 mana for a legendary artifact spacecraft. It can tap for 3 colorless. It also has station, and at 20 plus, tap at X mana of any color, where X is the number of charge counters on the Eternity Elevator. This is a mana rock that can tap for 20 plus mana.
Wow. What am I doing with
Exciting.
20 mana? Whatever I want, I guess.
Well, you built a space elevator, so presumably something huge.
Yeah, winning the
Yeah.
game probably.
So
Go to space.
being able to cast your spells is important. Being able to cast every single spell in your deck at once, pretty huge.
All right.
The Eternity Elevator really, really ramps you hard. If you've got X spells, if you've got commanders that care about like having a mana sink that you can repeat, having the Eternity Elevator gives you access to that. Also, when you tap for like 20 mana and you have ways to untap it, you could potentially get infinite. It's not that hard to do crazy things with the Eternity Elevator.
You mean like do 50 damage to some player?
Oh, easily.
Wow. You think that you could deal 50 damage
I mean, you
to
know,
someone whose quote unquote
Just saying.
life total is too high?
seems like it could be a fun combo with this card.
Look, all I'm saying is you need mana to cast spells, and you need spells in order to power your Ether Flux Reservoir.
Yeah, very true. Very
true.
true.
Very true.
What cards do you want to play with the Eternity Elevator?
I want to cast big X spells with the Eternity Elevator.
Okay.
The biggest thing I'm thinking of right now is like Doppelgang. Imagine casting a Doppelgang with X equals like 5.
Let me tell
Let's see
you.
here. Let's say
That
we only
sounds-
have 20 counters on the Eternity Elevator. So we only have
Only
20 mana.
20,
That means
yeah.
X is going to be equal to Let's see,
5?
3, 5, 15, 16, 17. We could do one more, 6.
Oh, X equals 6.
X equals 6, which
Okay.
means we can get
Six
6 copies
copies.
of 6 different targets.
Wonderful.
But each of them makes 6. So you're not making one copy of 6 different things. You're making 6 copies of 6 different things.
We're getting 36 permanents.
We're
from
getting
this.
36 permanents.
Okay.
I did the math.
I'm
That
in.
sounds nice. I like that.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I want that.
You did the math, Eric? That's
I did do the math.
We had somebody on our YouTube video request a shirt with the phrase on it, "When Eric does math, you die," which I feel like I said during some episode, because when you do math, we do die. I tell you that much. at
Yeah,
the
if I have
table.
to pull out the whiteboard or the calculator, you
Yeah.
know, something has gone horribly wrong, but not for me.
I want a shirt that says, "When you do math, we do die."
That you all, if you haven't seen our Commander Arcade episode, where Eric literally does pull out a whiteboard and do the math to see if we kill the table, is just truly a beautiful
This
moment.
was-
It's one of our earlier episodes.
This was our which mana value is the best
oh
episode.
yeah,
Because I was playing mana value 2.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh, it's so good, everyone. You've got to check that episode out if you haven't already. Okay, Eternity Elevator check seems
Yes.
sweet.
Eternity Elevator, awesome. Let's talk about Lumen class frigate.
Okay.
So, 1 and a white for a spacecraft. It has station at 2+, which is very easy to do.
Yeah.
That's not
Other
a lot of
creatures you
plus.
control get +1/+1. This is a
Card's
2-mana
so
anthem.
good.
But at 12+, it's a 3/5 with flying and lifelink.
I had this beauty in my seal deck in the Win-A-Box tournament this weekend
Mm-hmm.
for Collector Booster Box, and I did indeed win a box.
Yeah.
Some of which I attribute to this Lumen class frigate.
This card is awesome, especially with in the limited format. White has so many ways of making tokens.
Oh, yeah.
Or little flyers or little 1/1s, and yeah, you can do a lot with this card.
So why do you like this card for Commander?
I like this card because it is an anthem that you can hide. It's also a creature that you can hide until you need it to be a creature. When you are playing a token deck, often you care about like, oh, I need to play small creatures so that I can trigger things that care about entering the battlefield with small power and toughness. You can hide your creatures until you're ready to make a big swing so that you can continue to trigger your Takeshia's Welcomes and whatnot. But once you're ready to go, you can just tap likely a single creature to turn all of your creatures to having +1/+1. Also, late game, if you need a 3/5 flyer lifelink, like you only paid 2 mana for this thing.
Sometimes you need 3/5 flying lifelink.
Yeah. So I think this card is sweet. I think if you're playing a token-based strategy, you should absolutely consider putting it in your deck. Yeah, there are a lot of anthems you can play, but this is an anthem that will be a creature someday.
And more, like you said, it hides away, so more difficult potentially to remove than anthems that are sitting on the board.
Creatures,
as enchantments.
A lot harder to kill than artifacts.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, this is sweet. Love it.
Yeah, so there is a cycle of lands. These are mythic rares that all have station. They're planets. I want to talk about Sasar Secundi Void Altar. This is the black of this cycle. They're all sweet. They all are very powerful cards. They all come into play tapped. They all tap for their respective color. This one is black. But at station 12+, Sasar Secundi gains 1 and a black, tap, pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power. Activate only as a sorcery.
Yes.
I'd like to do that.
This was in my Zoo of Freet deck, and I don't know if I ever got it online. I can't remember, but gosh, it definitely goes in that deck.
This is the perfect card for that for that commander. Being able to get a 12/12 for one activation of Zoo of Freet, and then immediately using it to station, and then immediately using your Void Altar to sacrifice it to draw 12 cards.
I think that is exactly what I did in that episode.
You might have done something very close to that.
Because I did draw 12 cards, and
You did draw 12 cards.
I drew 12 quads, and it was real good.
It's really hard to lose when you draw 12 cards.
Well, not impossible though.
Not impossible. But if you can do this, and maybe do it again.
Okay, so
you're really, really ahead.
Obviously, you want to put this in some kind of sacrifice shenanigans deck or whatever. Reanimation deck. Is there any other home for this card, do you think?
Yeah, when I see Sasar Secundi, I'm probably thinking something like Jund or green-black, where I'm going to have big creatures, so it'll be easy to station. I'm going to have some sort of graveyard or recursion strategy already in mind. And now this card is a land, so it doesn't cost me any spells like slots for the deck. And it's so easy to activate in a deck like that, where especially if your commander has like 6 power, that's tapping your commander twice to station it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do some awesome things with this.
Very simple. Okay, very cool. If you're interested in playing with any of the cards that we mentioned on today's show, the perfect place to buy them is cardkingdom.com/GLHF.
Yes, Card Kingdom is the best place to go for all of your Magic needs, and especially those Magic singles. You can even sell them your cards, see all of their buy list prices, send them on in, get a trade-in bonus, and then get these cards.
So they have a section on the website that's their trending now section, which is a lot of cards people are buying singles of to put in their commander decks.
Guess what's up here? Exalted Sunborn.
Number 1.
We also see Watery Grave, Sacred Foundry, and Godless Shrine up here, and Ice Still Explorer.
Yeah, so Eric, it would appear you know what the heck you're talking about.
The secret may already be out.
Yes, very interesting. Yeah, we've got Tezzeret in there as well as one of the cards people are looking to pick up from Card Kingdom. All of your cards will come to you shipped in a single order, so you don't need to worry about multiple packages arriving in your mailbox, one getting lost in the mail or whatever. One shipment, one and done. cardkingdom.com/GLHF. We also want to say thank you to Dragon Shield.
Thank you so much to our great sponsor, Dragon Shield. They've got a new non-glare sleeve.
Yes, we
Look
have
at this guy.
Some new colors for you. Blue, green, and what's that one? Blood red.
Blood red.
Not just red, blood
Not just red. Blood red.
These are very cool. If you, Eric, when would you want to use these non-glare sleeves specifically?
So they're they're designed for camera play. So if you play games on Spell Table or over Discord and you've got a camera set up to show the cards that you have on the battlefield, these are going to be the sleeves for you.
We do know many people who play via Spell Table.
Absolutely.
They will minimize the glare from the cameras or lights and make it so that your board state is a lot more readable.
Yes.
Wow.
And they still feel very nice.
We love a readable board state.
Oh,
it's our number one thing.
We sure do.
Number one favorite thing.
Feel the back of these. They've got the nice matte texture on them as well. So they're going to shuffle really nicely as well. So yeah, if you're somebody who's playing on Spell Table or whatever, consider these non-glare sleeves. If you're Commander Arcade like us, we're also going to consider them.
Yeah.
Putting a sleeve in our decks to them. We do play on camera, it must be said. Anything you buy over at Dragon Shield, be sure to use code GLHF for 5% off your order. And you can also find our sleeves, which are with our special designs, by searching GLHF in the search bar. We've got our awesome Rainbow Feldegriff sleeves, which get a compliment every single time I use them, and our Commander Arcade logo sleeves over there as well. All right, where do you want to go next, Judge Eric?
Okay, so the meat of this, let's talk about cards that are for decks you already own.
Oh, great.
I'm sure if you're listening, you played some Commander, you have decks already, and you might be thinking like, oh, I want to upgrade this, or oh, this card hasn't felt great and I want to replace it. Well, I have a bunch of different cards that are for different strategies of Commander that I think would be great inclusions in any deck that fits for them.
Okay, excellent.
So the first one I'm going to talk about is one of the headlining mythics of the set, Exalted Sunborn.
The art on this is so good.
It's beautiful.
The angels look so good in Edge of Eternity.
Yeah. I mean, no surprise. That's a Scott Fisher.
Their wings have starscapes in them.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, and this card also is so good.
Yeah, so 3 white, or warp for 1 and a white for a 4/5 with flying, lifelink, and if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created
instead. This can't be a problem.
instead.
This is not going to be a problem.
This
normal thing.
This is the cheapest way in mono white to double your tokens. For 1 and a white in warp, you can now have a token doubler and play for 1 turn, which is all you really need. Let's be serious.
Wow.
You're playing a token deck. But later in the game, after you've somehow not won by warping this and play and making a bunch of tokens, you can play it again for 5 mana. This card is awesome. Any token-based deck should consider putting this in your deck. I think it and Kaya Ghost Hunter are the best cheap ways to double your tokens. But this one only costs 2.
Wow.
So I very much am looking forward to putting this card into... I have a green-white tokens deck that this would be great for. I have this Abzan thing I'm looking at where I can make a bunch of tokens.
I feel like Megan played a black-white tokens deck on the show before.
Oh, yeah. Black-white
there's the Teysa deck that
the
you
Teysa
played.
one. That's what I'm thinking
That
of.
Teysa deck is sick, and this should go in that.
Oh, 100%. So the next time I'm sitting down at my desk and updating some Commander decks, I'm going to put this in one of those decks.
Yeah, that seems sick.
So the next card I want to talk about is Ice Till Explorer. This is another rare from the set.
He a bug with the job.
2
Very
green
cute.
for a 2/4 Insect Scout. You may play an additional land on each of your turns.
Thank you, and I will.
And if that's not good enough, you may play land cards from your graveyard.
Oh.
But how will I put them there?
And if that's not good enough, whenever a land you control enters, mill a card.
Oh.
This card is so good.
This card is
great.
bonkers.
This card is so good.
This card does everything that your landfall deck wants to do. It fuels the land. It gets you extra land drops.
It fuels the land.
It lets you play your fetch lands again from the graveyard, which in a landfall deck, those fetch lands are doing work. This card is awesome. If you are ramping with lands, you should absolutely play this card. Which, let's be real, we're all ramping with lands,
We're
aren't
all
we?
ramping with lands. Except for those of us on a space elevator. We're ramping with elevators.
It would not surprise me if I saw this card in any green commander deck from now until the end of time.
Infinity.
This card
Yeah.
is so good.
I need to go put it in my Tachiova Brawl deck right now.
Oh,
So log into Arena real
absolutely.
quick and pop this guy on in there.
I have to say, okay, this is kind of a side question, Eric, but you just everybody's ramping in Commander or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not ramping, am I doing it wrong?
No, you're not doing it wrong. You just should have a plan. I recently built a deck for the show, Cervandom, which the goal of that deck is not to get to a ton of mana.
No.
So the Cervandom deck, and just so we're clear, Cervandom is white-black for a 2/2, menace, vigilance. Whenever another creature you control dies or is put into exile, put a +1/+1 counter in Cervandom and gain a life. And when Cervandom dies or is put into exile while its power is 4 or greater, destroy up to one target non-land permanent.
Yeah.
The deck that I built had, I want to say 32 lands, 33 lands. It's not ramping. What it's doing instead is it's playing a lot of cheap value cards so that you have a good card flow instead of going for really, really big impactful spells. And I think that deck works really, really well for showing off that you don't need to ramp.
Okay.
That being said, ramping is a really good way of getting ahead in the game, especially if you're able to get to, say, a critical mass of 8 mana or 9 mana before any of the other players at the table.
Yeah.
And Ice Steel Explorer will absolutely let you do that. So I do think most players are going to be ramping, and I want to talk a little later on in the episode. I'm going to talk about ways to maybe fix that if the problem is that your opponents are always ramping and you're not.
Oh,
because there are ways of doing that.
Oh.
Excellent.
But
I'm
Ice Steel
intrigued.
Explorer is a way to get ahead.
Yes. Okay, you playing green. You know what I mean? Put this card in your deck, you silly jelly bean.
Yeah.
Wow. What a rhyme. You really got there.
So we got the token doubling side of doubling, but we didn't get the +1/+1 counters side
Yeah,
of
what
doubling
the heck?
things. But
Yeah.
Loading Zone has you covered. And Loading Zone is also one of the best ways to do this. Loading Zone is 3 and a green for an enchantment. It also has Warp for a single green. And it says if one or more counters would be put on a creature, spacecraft, or planet you control, twice that many of each of those kinds of counters are put on it instead.
Excellent.
Yeah, so +1/+1 counter synergies, stationing, anything that uses counters on creatures, you are going to get double. And it's especially awesome with Loading Zone because Loading Zone can be warped for a single mana. A lot of the times, if you're playing a card like Doubling Season or Branched Evolution, these other effects that can add more counters to permanents as you play them, they're going to be played later in the game. Branched Evolution costs 3, Doubling Season costs 5. You might be not in a situation where you can actually afford to cast the enchantment because it doesn't impact the board in any way.
Eric is saying you might be dying.
Yeah, you might be dying.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But for a single green mana, you can play this and then play a creature that comes into play with +1/+1 counters. Now suddenly it's twice as big.
Yeah,
You're
this
back in the
seems
game.
very strong in that kind of deck.
Yeah, and then later, now that you've stabilized, you can cast it for its full 4 mana, which is still pretty cheap. Doubling Season is 5, and everybody
Right.
plays that card.
Right.
So I really like Loading Zone. I think it has the potential to be really, really big in any decks that care about counters.
Agree. Okay, that card is sweet. So 2 green cards in a row. Let's go on to blue next with Moonlit Meditation.
Yeah, so 2 and a blue for an aura. This can only enchant an artifact or creature you control, but the first time you would create 1 or more tokens each turn, you can instead create that many tokens that are a copy of enchanted permanent. Do you have an awesome permanent that you want to get 12 copies of, or however you're making tokens? This is the best way to do it.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems sweet.
Just be careful not to put it on a legendary creature. It doesn't make
Right,
that.
right.
The tokens would still be legendary, so you will get legend rules.
What do you most want to put this on, Eric?
Oh, just something huge, like a big dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like especially if it doesn't enter the battlefield ability.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That would be sick.
Like imagine having a big dragon in play and then playing something like Beetleback Brigade to make 2 1/1 goblins, and now those goblins are actually dragons.
Goblins.
And that's just what I'm thinking of off the top of my head.
Look, every goblin
all right,
dreams of being
all
a
right.
dragon one day. That's just true. You know, and in this,
Whoa.
they can live out their realities.
it?
Their dreams can become realities, rather.
I think it's more of a kobold thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's also a great thing to put on a shirt. You would understand. It's a kobold thing.
So as a sidebar, I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and the campaigns that I run, I always make sure that I include a kobold NPC that is it tied to the party in some inextricable way. My current kobold du jour is Skizix. He is the medic for the party. He is an alchemist, and he is very good at making poisons and very bad at making healing things.
Oh no.
But he's
Always
trying.
need
He's trying.
You need a
trying.
poison
He's
guy. You know
trying.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's critical.
He's great. He also has this really nasally voice when he talks. And somehow I'm able to do this for the entire session without it ruining my voice.
Oh, that's really good voice. Very good
That's
voice.
impressive. That's impressive.
All right, where are
so
we going next? Sticking
Let's talk
in blue.
about Starfield Vocalist. So we're talking about doubling counters. We're talking about doubling tokens.
Yeah, we are.
We're talking about doubling landfall triggers.
Yeah, we are.
What about all enter the battlefield triggers?
triggers.
Yes.
Starfield Vocalist has you covered. Do you want to go to the opera and double all of your, say, what's your favorite enter the battlefield trigger?
I just want to go to the opera. You had me at, do you want to go to the opera?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I want to go to the opera. I bet Megan's favorite is draw a card. But,
Mine
you know,
is
I'm just gonna say,
Tachova. Gain a life,
yeah.
draw a card, baby.
What do we think Starfield Vocalist is singing?
Oh.
Wow.
I want to say it's the opera from The Fifth Element.
Oh, I love that song.
That's
quite
great. That's
honestly.
great.
It
I
is-
was thinking it was the Final Fantasy opera song.
That opera from The
Oh.
Fifth Element is like impossible for a human to physically sing the way that it is sung. They like did something in the recording to make it. I don't know if they modulated it or something, but it is like
manipulated it.
It is not a song that you should sing. But I bet they're singing it.
Yeah, for sure they're
It's not a
singing
song
it.
you should sing.
But anyway, this card is a 3/4 for 4 mana, so 3 and a blue. Human Bard, if a permanent entering the battlefield causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And like the other cards I've been talking about, it has warp.
Yeah.
So for 1 and a blue, you can warp this into play and double all your triggers for the turn, and then later in the game, you can cast it again.
So good.
Nice.
These cards are awesome. They I imagine we'll be seeing all of these in many decks for a very long time.
Yeah, it's just
Panharmonicon is sweet, and this thing has legs.
Yeah.
Imagine
And a warp cost.
a Panharmonicon with legs, if you will.
Singing in opera, you shouldn't sing.
Very
Yes.
terrifying. I was already scared of Panharmonicon, and
And
now
now it's
an
a
abomination.
nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the Panharmonicon is like a bunch of random musical instruments jammed together. So like it makes sense that the singer would have the same ability.
Look,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
bet
yeah.
I've had a bad experience being
Oh, I have-
Panharmonicon. Do
I
you know
have
what
too.
I mean? Okay, yeah.
We've all been traumatized. Raise your hand if you have been personally victimized by
By
Panharmonicon.
Caesarian Voidborn.
Yes. So 2 and a black, Vampire Soldier, 2/2. When this creature or another creature or artifact you control dies, target opponent loses life, you gain a life.
Love it.
Just like all of the hundreds of other aristocrat
Yeah.
staples. But this one you can cast for 1 mana. For a single black, you can warp it into play. So if you've got a huge turn lined up, a bunch of tokens in play, you're ready to make 1,000,000 death triggers, but you don't want to spend 3 mana on it, what if you only spent 1?
Gosh.
What if you only spent 1?
I've also been aristocrated, and it's it's not always the greatest feeling unless
No.
you're the one doing the aristocrating.
Yeah. I think this is Sephiroth's new best friend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sephiroth, I didn't know needed friends.
Yeah, it's not really his thing.
It doesn't seem like Sephiroth seems like a no friends kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, his whole plan is to destroy the planet and kill everybody
Yeah.
on it. So, like, that doesn't seem very friendly.
It doesn't seem super friendly.
But
you
this
know what?
guy doesn't know
Voidborn
that.
I was gonna say is into it. This Voidborn is
okay.
like,
Yeah.
let's destroy
Let's
the planet.
go.
That sounds like a nice time.
Sometimes you just want to be the one that sacrificed last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that.
That's all that the Voidborn is asking for.
So the last card that I expect we're going to see a lot of in Commander games, because it kind of comes out of nowhere, is Virolent Silencer. This is an artifact creature from the set. 3 mana for a 2/3 robot assassin. Whenever a non-token artifact you control deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters.
Oh yeah.
You can kill a lot of players out of nowhere with this card.
We still
you
talking about
can.
10 poison here?
Yeah, just 10 poison.
Wowza.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could be
Blah, 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 blah.
super scary.
Yep, just 5 creatures. If you're sitting pretty at let's say 100 life, and you're
What?
just
I don't know why
waiting
you
to
mentioned
cast
that.
your Ether Flux Reservoir,
What?
Wow.
and then suddenly this little guy comes in, you're
If
dead.
your quote unquote life total is quote unquote too high.
Yeah,
I have to say, this little buddy is freaky. Even in limited,
Yeah.
you can kill somebody straight out the game
yeah.
with this
There's
friend in
a
place.
lot of
fun.
artifact creatures in this limited
Yeah,
format.
are.
yeah. Okay, cool. So
But yeah, sweet card.
poison decks sign up. I mean, you will become a poison deck regardless, but
And what's nice about
Wow.
this is it does the damage and the poison counters. So like you're still impacting the game even if you're not going to poison somebody out.
Yeah.
But it is a fun surprise. At least for you when you cast it, not for your opponents. They're gonna be very
Poison
upset.
counters.
You told me this was going to be a fun surprise.
The secret commander damage third way. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
I mean, like, you know, if you kill someone with commander damage,
Right.
secretly their life total was 21.
Oh, yeah.
And secretly their life total is 10 with this bad boy.
Do you think people die more in Commander to poison or to mill?
Poison.
It's got to be poison,
Snap off
right?
poison.
Yeah, I think so too.
We got to do
One,
a full
you're making the
test of
job
this.
easier, and Mill, you're making the job harder.
Yeah.
Like it's harder than usual.
Well, especially if you're generally helping someone when you mill them.
Yeah.
How many decks have ways to
These
get stuff back from the
days.
graveyard? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many decks have a secret lab maniac?
Not mine, that's for sure.
Wow. Hey, y'all heard about the secret lab maniac?
But this is to say, a lot of players don't find poison super fun,
Yeah.
which
Well,
I get.
yeah,
It gets around
this
late
can be
game
very-
strategies. It can be
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
frustrating. You can proliferate poison counters. Like, I get that. Which leads into my next section of I'm Not Your Dad.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I'm Not Your Dad. You can play poison cards. Just be aware of your table, right? Your table might not want you to play an effect that can instantly win the game on the spot.
Your
with-
table might be full of your dad.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not your dad, so I'm not going to tell you not to play these cards.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you be aware and communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which leads me to my next card, Planetary Annihilation.
This
Oh
it does
my
seem like something you
God.
should communicate about before.
Yes.
Yes, so Planetary Annihilation is 3 red for a sorcery. Each player chooses 6 lands they control, then sacrifices the rest.
Yeah.
Planetary Annihilation deals 6 damage to each creature.
Knew
Yeah.
it.
Like I mentioned earlier, ramping tons and tons of lands is a way to get ahead. And if that's your only way of getting ahead, a card like this could be backbreaking.
Okay, so if all your friends are ramping, you put this in your deck and then you're like, haha, see you later, suckers.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
make sure that you communicate with them that this is a possibility.
Just
This
make
is a
sure.
surprise.
Just make sure they're gonna be your friends after it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying one time, just one time. If you've just
One
been
time.
beat up by dirty, filthy rampers at your table for forever,
Wow.
you just
Wow.
blow them out of the
Watch
sky with
yourself.
Rampers? Wow.
this, and you just
Dirty,
boom.
filthy rampers.
But it's like gonna be the only time you can do it. Like you only get that once. You know what I mean?
because then they don't talk to you anymore.
Yeah. Jokes aside, 6 mana is still a lot.
Yes.
This is
Sure.
the type of land destruction effect that can have an impact on the game without completely ruining the game.
Yeah.
If an opponent is getting ahead and it's turn 5 and they have 13 lands in play, playing this on your turn 5 is entirely
Yeah.
reasonable.
Okay.
Just like be aware that that's the sort of thing that can happen, and it could make that person salt off, but it could also just be like, yeah, fair. I had 13 lands in play on turn 5.
I'm salting off
I'm
right now.
salting off right now.
This is a sort of card that I really like, just because I'm going to practice good usage of this card by communicating with my table
Yes.
ahead of time.
Okay, sure,
Yes.
fine.
But it can prevent those decks getting way ahead. If you're playing against a Muldrotha deck and the Muldrotha is able to get 13 lands in play and reanimate 2 things a turn constantly throughout the entire game, and no matter what you do, you're behind. Well, if they're down to 6 mana,
Guess
they
what?
can't really spin their wheels that
Guess
well.
what, Muldrotha?
Yeah.
The Grave Tide.
The Grave Tide also
Tide has come for you.
only has 6 toughness.
Does in fact have 6
Ooh, all
toughness.
right. I hear
So
ya.
Planetary Annihilation is a card that I like, but be careful playing it. Communicate. Same with the Super Void.
Oh,
Sothera,
yeah.
the Super Void.
Yeah.
2 black for a legendary enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exile it.
Yeah.
At the beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creatures, sacrifice Sothera, then put a creature exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control with 2+1/+1 counters on it.
Beautiful.
Nice.
This card is amazing. It is
Yeah.
also a great way to lose your friends. It and Grave Pact and Dictate of Erebos, all these cards that say whenever I lose a creature, everybody else loses a creature.
Lose creature.
They're essentially one-sided board wipes in the right decks. And this one costs 4 mana. So if you're able to play this on, let's say, turn 5, turn 6, you have a bunch of creatures in play, your opponents also have a bunch of creatures in play, but you have a sack outlet. Now you're going, I play a 4-drop. I play another sack outlet. I sacrifice 3 creatures. Everyone else loses all of their permanents. I make a big attack. And then at the end of my turn, I reanimate the best thing. That's huge. That's a huge swing. And depending on your table, might not be the right vibe. So be careful playing this card. I'm not your dad. I think you should consider it, but consider it as a more powerful and game warping effect.
Remember, some of your friends might be your dad.
If you're lucky. That's what I say. I played, I put in my Zoophied deck, there was cards that made everybody sacrifice creatures at the table.
Yep.
And every time, just me personally, I did that, I felt awful.
Wow.
Because I felt like a lot of times I nabbed somebody's commander because it was the only card they had in play, and I just felt kind of bad about it.
Yeah, these equal effects for all players.
They're not always equal.
They're not equal. You have a 1/1 or you're going to reanimate a thing or whatever.
Wow, this is a great illustration of equity versus equality right here.
Very true.
Wow.
Just saying.
There you go. Good luck, high five. Bringing you all kinds of lessons.
Not all creatures are created equal.
No.
But they are equitable.
All right, Dad, what else do you want to warn me about?
Well, that was my big list for today.
Great.
All
There
right,
aren't
Pops.
a lot of super oppressive cards in the main sets for Edge of Eternities. There are a couple cards in the bonus sheet that you might want to look out for. But I'm not going to get super intense into those. Like Nexus of Fate, for example, is another card that can be very polarizing, but that's true of every extra turn effect.
Yeah, I'd say.
The thing to point out about Nexus of Fate is it is an instant, so you can do it
You can
in
just
a
kind
weird
of
place to
scooch
suddenly
between
get a
other
turn.
people's cards.
Exactly.
Turns, I mean.
Do you say scooch?
Yeah.
Just kind of scooch
Scooching
between
it
them.
on in there.
Excuse me, scooch. I'm just going to scooch on in there.
Just
Oop,
gonna
scooch
scooch
right
on
past
past
ya.
No one expects an
Taking
extra
extra
turn
turn.
happening for you between the opposite people of the table's turns.
Indeed, that is very true.
Unless it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always anticipate taking a turn between other people's turns.
Eric, so what of this list that you've brought us today are you personally most excited about?
I am the
to
most
pick?
excited about Exalted Sunborn.
Yeah.
I think that card is
Yeah.
awesome. I fortunately opened one up in the box that I bought.
Excellent. Good work.
And so I'm very excited to play with it. It's sweet. It does everything I want in a token deck, and I love making lots and lots of tokens.
Megan,
that.
which one are you most excited about on this list?
Ooh, wow. Okay, great question. I feel like maybe I do love the Ice Till Explorer. It's probably the Ice Till Explorer because I love me some. I do love the ramp.
You do.
So you're telling me that I can, like, Oracle of Moldiah is one of my favorite cards.
True.
And this has Oracle of Moldiah vibes, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
Written all over his
real into
little
it.
insect body. I'm personally most excited for the Lumen class frigate, that Anthem. I love
Yeah.
Anthem effects. I probably should build a little mono white, like tiny creature draw card, do pump.
Well, we have the perfect commander for it
Tiny
here with
creature,
Halia.
draw a card, do pump. Tiny creature, draw a card, do pump.
Make token, go big,
You
go
know,
wide.
Like,
Make token, go wide, do pump.
you know, like when you've got that 2/3 flying like vamp or whatever it is, and when you play a creature that's smaller, you get to draw a card.
Oh yeah, welcoming
Welcoming
vampire.
vampire.
Welcoming vampire, thank you. Yeah, that's the kind of speed I'm looking. That's the vibe I'm looking for.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
necessarily like a bunch of like 1/1s that I win with, but just playing small creature that draw a card and then do pump.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I do need a lot of tokens for that to
Then do
work,
pump.
but you
Maybe
know.
we could look into building Halia.
Yeah, Halia seems very cool too. But I don't know. You all might be really mad at me once I have like 100 life or whatever.
Hey,
Well, I
there's
don't
only
know, is
21 commander damage.
Is it quote unquote? Is it quote unquote? Your life total is too high.
Yeah, my life total is just so high. These people can't
I
handle
don't know,
me.
Maria. Is either Flex or War going to be in your deck?
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
who's to
maybe we
say?
should
colorless.
hide the copies of that card.
Every single time that I ask Maria to pull a Cyclonic Rift for me, she's always like, "What if I just didn't?"
I'd be like, "Oops, don't know where that went. Gosh."
Oh no, I forgot it.
Megan, I tripped and it fell right into the shredder.
You know, every time I build a blue commander deck, Cyclonic Rift just somehow doesn't find its way in there. It's
sweet.
crazy.
Isn't it so weird?
I think that Cyclonic Rift is a deeply polite card to play.
What?
I would like to politely disagree.
Because
Debate.
do you know what? If I'm playing Cyclonic Rift, when I play it, I will win the game.
Okay.
Like, I promise you. Like, I'm not going to play it and not win the game.
I will accept that for you, this is a card that can be polite. However,
Yes.
I have played many games of Magic where people cast Cyclonic Rift to make the game last 5 more turns that it didn't need to last.
No. So here's my message to all of you doing that. Not okay. You're making us Cyclonic Rift players look bad. You only cast Cyclonic Rift if you're about. You cast it, you win game.
Yeah. If you're not winning the game with your game changer card, what are you doing? You could have played 2 other games of Magic in the amount of time it took to finish this game.
All right.
Well, thank you, Eric, for bringing us this wonderful list of things to consider
great.
from Edge of Eternities.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Anybody out there, if you've got ideas of cards you're excited to brew with or put into your existing commander decks or upgrades, anything you want to talk about, let us know in the comments, or if you're a patron, come on into our Discord chat and let us know what you think. Well, Judge Eric, thank you so much for joining us on this episode and sharing your commander expertise.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I love this set, Edge of Eternities, and I think it's so sweet to take a look at it from several different angles. Like last week, we were talking about the draft environment and how to get better at draft. And this week, we're talking about sweet commander cards that you can put in your commander decks. And I just feel so attracted to the space theme, and I'm so happy that we did it. And I hope we go back to the Eternities soon in the future.
Magic translating to space and science, like hard science fiction, worked so well in universe.
Yeah, it really did. It looks so good.
It like makes me want to see a Babylon 5 Universes Beyond.
Wow. That's a
specific
niche,
cut. But hey,
you know what? All right.
It could happen. Thank you to everybody who supports our show. Thank you to our sponsors, Dragon Shield and Card Kingdom, and of course our patrons who make this happen. Go on over to patreon.com/GLHF Magic, become a patron, get an awesome, I'm going to put that in quotes, pun for yourself next episode at the $5 a month level or more.
Get a high life total pun.
Better than a low life total.
Absolutely.